So I had a consultation recently with someone. She was telling me about how she hits every milestone, achieving everything she's supposed to achieve, and she can barely feel it. The joy isn't there, but she keeps going because she should, because she doesn't have the privilege of stopping, because there's always a next thing that needs her. And at some point in our conversation, she said something that stopped me. She said, I don't even know who I am if I'm not working towards something. And not only that, but I don't know what will happen to me if I stop working towards something. I've talked before about why it's hard to rest. Today I want to go another layer deeper, because for a lot of us, the inability to stop isn't really about rest at all. It's about identity. It's about the question underneath all of it. Who am I if I'm not the one holding everything together? The chaos, the calendars, the needs, the demands. Most of us know how to navigate all of that. What we don't always know is what to do when it gets quiet. Because when things slow down, there's nothing familiar to reach for. And that feeling, that blankness, is really uncomfortable. And a lot of us would rather stay exhausted and busy than sit with it. So when being needed has been woven into your sense of self for long enough, usefulness stops feeling like something you do and starts feeling like who you are. The reliable one, the achiever, the one who is responsible, who keeps going because she doesn't have the privilege of stopping. So when someone suggests doing less or slowing down, it doesn't just feel irresponsible, it feels like disappearing, like there won't be a you on the other side of it. That isn't laziness in reverse, that's an identity that got built around a role. And roles are a very unstable foundation for a self. This is the part that is tricky and can be painful sometimes when I sit with my clients to really talk about out loud. Part of what keeps overfunctioners overfunctioning is the genuine belief that things will fall apart without them, that the people around them cannot manage, that stepping back means things will fall apart. And underneath that, this is what I often find in the therapy room with my clients, is a quieter, more uncomfortable fear that maybe things won't totally fall apart, that other people could probably figure it out, but that you're carrying more than was ever yours to carry. And that realization can be quietly devastating because it raises the question the woman I mentioned at the start is sitting with right now, which is, if I have been achieving all of this and I can barely feel joy or contentment and my energy is waning, it's almost like I'm burned out, but I don't want to admit it, then what was this actually for? What is it for? I know this pattern from the inside. I've lived it personally, and I live it in my work with my clients. What started to shift for me wasn't learning to just do less. Frankly, that's quite impossible for me right now. It was getting clear on what I actually value. Separate from what I've been trained to manage and achieve, therapy helped me understand where the overfunctioning was coming from. That pattern recognition has been really helpful. And values work helped me find something to move toward instead of something to just maintain or something that hooks me and keeps me in a direction that doesn't feel good. The difference between managing everything and living from your values is the difference between running on obligation and running on meaning. They can look identical from the outside, they feel completely different from the inside. So this week, when you notice the urge to step in, manage, fix, or achieve, pause and ask yourself, am I doing this because it aligns with what I actually value, or because staying useful feels safer than the alternative? Just notice. That question can start to create some separation between you and the role and you and that pattern. And that separation is where things begin to transform. You don't have to become someone else to reduce your overfunctioning. You just have to get curious about who you are underneath the role, what you actually value, what you actually want, separate from what you've been trained to produce. That's the work, and it's incredibly doable. I'm Nicole. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I work with clients in all of California and Nevada, and this is exactly what I work on in the therapy room and in my own life. If this hit home for you, subscribing is the best way to catch next week's video. And if you're ready to work on this together, or you're simply interested in talking about, is this something that we could do in therapy? I'll link my free consultation below. It's just 20 minutes, no pressure, just a real conversation. I'll see you next week.